Good morning and welcome aboard our King Air C90B. We're on the ground at Medford Rogue Valley Airport in Medford, Oregon. And we're going to be taking a short flight down to Weed, California. That's Oscar 46. And Medford Rogue Valley is Mike Fox Romeo. We're going to be flying IFR. And we're going to depart via the Brute 7 departure procedure, which is depicted here on this chart. And then here's the textual version on page 2. So the Brute 7, whichever runway we depart from, calls for intercepting the 098 radial outbound from the Rogue Valley VOR. And we're going to fly that to 15 DME from the VOR to the Lanks intersection. We're going to make a right turn, maintain 15 DME on the arc to the Jaden intersection, and then we're going to fly that southbound to the Grenna intersection. And we're planning on shooting the RNAV runway 14 approach into Weed, and that calls for an initial approach fix at Grenna, so it fits well with our departure procedure. And from Grenna to Dimji waypoint, Kanki waypoint, Sigsib waypoint, and then down to the runway with LNAV minimum descent altitude of 3,380 feet. So let's switch this over to low altitude airways. And we're going to go ahead and put the Brute 7 departure, Grenna transition, Oscar 46. Okay, so there it is. Let's go ahead and jump inside the airplane, get it started, and get on our way.
Doors and windows closed and locked.
All right, let's go ahead and close the doors, remove static elements.
Weight and CG checked. Emergency exit latched. Seat belts and harnesses fastened. Control locks remove.
Go ahead and remove the control wheels.
Parking brake set.
Set.
Right panel circuit breakers check.
All in.
Alternate static air source normal.
Set to normal.
Cabin signs off.
Cabin signs are off.
Cabin temperature mode off.
And temperature mode set to off.
Vent blower auto.
Vent blowers right here set to auto.
Bleed air valves closed.
Bleed air valve left and right closed.
Radiant heat off.
Radiant heat right here off.
Oxygen supply pressure check.
Oxygen supply pressure is good.
Cabin air control off.
Cabin air control off.
Condition levers cut off.
Condition levers are cut off.
Propeller levers high RPM.
Prop levers high RPM.
Power levers idle.
Power levers idle.
Landing gear control down.
Landing gear control is down.
Left sub panel switches off.
Left sub panel switches off.
Engine anti-ice on.
Engine anti-ice on for left and right.
Left panel circuit breakers in.
All in.
Battery switch on.
Battery switch on.
Fuel firewall valves close.
Close left. Close right.
Crossfeed open. Check annunciator light on.
Crossfeed open. Annunciator light right here is on.
Crossfeed pump off.
Crossfeed pump off.
Boost pumps on.
Boost pump
Listen
on.
for operation.
Left. Right. Operation verified.
Fuel firewall valves open.
Open left. Open right.
Fuel quantity check.
Fuel sufficient and balanced.
Transfer pump override auto.
Transfer pump override. Auto position.
Transfer pump test switch check left then right.
Checking right. And there's the annunciator. Checking left. And there's the annunciator.
Transfer pumps off.
Off left, off right.
Voltmeter, check 22 volts minimum, TPL feed.
All right, setting TPL feed. And we're above 22.
Annunciator lights, test.
All illuminated.
Fire detectors, check. Landing gear control lights, check.
3 green, no red.
Rotating beacon, on.
Beacon on.
Pedestal.
Get our armrest out of our way.
EFIS power switch off.
EFIS off.
Autopilot and trim power switches off.
Trim power off, autopilot off.
Cabin pressure switch pressure.
Set to pressure.
Rudder boost switch on.
Rudder boost on.
Pressurization controller set.
All right, we're going to set that for field elevation in weed. Let's see what that is. Showing 2943, we're going to set 3000. Set.
Engine start. Right engine auto ignition, on.
Right auto ignition on.
Right ignition start, on.
Right ignition start.
Right fuel pressure annunciator light, check extinguished.
It is extinguished.
N1, monitor until stable above 12%.
And we're at 10%, 11, there's 12.
Right condition lever, low idle.
Right condition lever to low idle. Set.
ITT and N1, monitor, ITT must not exceed 1000 C.
And we're below 1000, coming down, and in the green.
Right oil pressure, check.
Right oil pressure is coming into the green.
N1, monitor until stable above 50%.
And we're above 50%.
Right ignition start, off.
Right ignition off.
Right condition lever, high idle.
Right condition lever set to high idle.
Right generator, on.
Right generator on.
Battery charge annunciator, monitor.
Monitoring.
Right engine generator load, 50% or less.
Showing below 40%.
DC voltmeter, check 27.5 to 29 volts.
Yep, we're in range.
Right generator, off.
Right generator off.
Left condition lever, check cut off.
And we're cut off.
Left engine auto ignition, on.
Left auto ignition on.
Left ignition start, on.
Left starter on.
Left fuel pressure annunciator light, check extinguished.
And it is extinguished.
N1, monitor until stable above 12%.
Coming up. There's 12.
Left condition lever, low idle.
Set to low idle.
ITT and N1, monitor, ITT must not exceed 1000 C.
And below 1000, coming down, and in the green.
Left oil pressure, check.
Left oil pressure, in the green.
N1, monitor until stable above 50%.
And we're stable above 50.
Left ignition start, off.
Left ignition off.
Left and right prop RPM, 1100 minimum.
Showing above 1500 on right. Left coming up to 1100 and rising.
Left generator, on.
Left generator on.
Right generator, on.
Right generator on.
Battery charge annunciator, monitor.
And it's extinguished.
DC voltmeter, check 27.5 to 29 volts.
And we're in range.
After engine start and taxi, inverters check and on. DC voltage load, check parallel within 10%.
Parallel within 10.
AC voltage frequency, check. Avionics master switch, on. EFIS power switch on.
Avionics master on. EFIS on.
Trim power switch on.
Trim power switch on.
Transponder, on and set.
And we'll turn the transponder on.
Mic selector switch normal.
Mic selector set to normal.
Exterior lights as required.
And normal on Copilot. Exterior lights. Nav light, recognition light, taxi light.
Cabin signs, as required.
Cabin signs are extinguished, and we're going to leave them extinguished. We're not carrying any passengers today.
Bleed air valves, open.
Bleed air valve open left, open right.
Cabin temperature mode, auto.
Cabin temp set to auto.
Cabin temperature, as required.
And set to mid-range.
Pilot's instrument panel check. Condition levers, low idle.
And set low idle.
Parking brake, release. Engine RNAV. Avionics and radar, check, radar off on ground. Altitude, set.
Alright, so let's take a look at our flight plan. So Victor 287 is calling for 12,000. We're flying eastbound, and so we're gonna fly at 13,000, file at 13,000, or at least simulate filing at 13,000. So I'm setting that right now. Let's see what SkyVector has for weather. Here at Medford, showing wind calm, 10 miles visibility. Altimeter 3024. Set. And down at Weed, let's see, the nearest weather reporting station probably right here at Siskiyou County, showing 360 and 8 knots, gusting 14, 10 miles visibility, 3026. So we're going to expect a wind from the north. Okay, back inside the airplane.
Heading bug, set.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to ATIS. ATIS frequency right here, 127.25. 127.25. Set that over here in COM2. 127.25 is set, and COM2 on.
Rogue Valley INTL Medford Information Lima. 100 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 12, dew point 4. Altimeter 3028. Arriving runway 32, departing runway 32. Advise on initial contact, you have Lima.
Okay, Lima's current. Be a runway 32 departure. I'll go ahead and make the change here in the altimeter to 3028. 3028 is set.
VS, set.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the autopilot, and we're gonna dock that over here, shrink it down just a little bit. Okay, so on autopilot, we're gonna be flying nav mode. Pre-select altitude, we're gonna be climbing via vertical speed, and we're gonna climb out at 1,400 feet per minute, so that's all in standby.
Cabin pressurization, check and set.
Okay, cabin pressurization is set, 3,000 field elevation Weed, and I'm gonna go ahead and set the heading bug for a course 320, departing runway 32. Set. Yep, so I'm going to climb straight out, runway 32, right turn to 060 degrees, intercept the 098 radial. Let's go go ahead and check our flight plan. Which I pre-programmed in there. So all right, we're set up for runway 32. I'm going to go ahead and activate that leg. Okay, intercept the 098 radial to Brute, Lanks, Jaden, and left turn out Kalama, Fobro, Hiveg, Epug, Gurena. And then here's the approach, which I already have programmed in here. Save a little bit of time. Is the RNAV runway 14. Okay, so that looks good. Let's go back here and look at our chart. So we're going to be simulating air traffic control communications today. So I'm going to be descending via the published procedure right here. So once we reach 13,000, which will be probably somewhere in here between Lanks and Jade, we're going to maintain 13,000, make our left turn here at Jade, and as soon as we reach Kalama, we're going to plan on descending to 9,700. Once we reach Fobro, we're going to descend to 8,000 right here, down to Hiveg, and from Hiveg we're going to descend 7,400 and maintain that to Gurena, the initial approach fix, and then right turn, descend to 5,100 to Dimji, and from Dimji we're going to descend down to 4,600 to Kanki, and that's all here on the profile view, and we're going to descend to the runway with a minimum of 3,380. So that's the plan.
Autopilot, check off.
Autopilot's off.
Elevator trim, set second markup position.
And we're set right here, second markup position.
Aileron and rudder trim, set neutral.
Aileron neutral and rudder neutral. And by the way, I watched a video for a air traffic or a incident where a King Air crashed right after takeoff in real life, and the pilot, who was very experienced and had a lot of hours in a King Air, failed to set his rudder tab. He had it fully deflected left on takeoff. There wasn't enough time to realize what the issue was, and he was attempting to compensate for it but couldn't because it was already set full left deflection. And the airplane went down into an industrial park, and the pilot was deceased. So these checklist items, no matter how experienced you are in any particular airplane, are critically important. In some cases, the more experienced pilots tend to rush through their checklist and try to go by memory, and that's where you can get yourself into trouble. So very important, obviously, to follow every item on the list.
Flaps, check operation and set.
Let's
Flight controls, check.
and flight controls. Elevator, ailerons,
Gyro suction gauge, green arc.
and gyro section is in the green.
Auto feather, on.
Auto feather on,
Fuel quantity, check.
and sufficient and balanced.
Annunciators, check off.
Okay, just the things we want on are on. Left and right ignitions, left engine and right engine anti-ice, and that's on for ground operations to reduce the likelihood of debris being sucked into the cowlings. We'll be turning those off just before we take off.
Transponder, on and set.
Okay, now it's a good time to go ahead and get our clearance. So we're going to tune to ground, which is 121.8. 218, set. And our call sign for today is going to be Sky 56. Medford ground, Sky 56 is IFR to Weed, ready to copy. 556 is clear to the Weed Airport via the Route 7 departure Grena transition. Climb via SID, accept maintain 13,000. Departure frequency 124.3. Squawk 6543. Clear to Weed Airport as filed. Via the Route 7 departure Grena transition. Climb via SID, accept maintain 13,000. Departure 124.3, squawk 6543, Sky 56. Sky 56, read back correct. Set.
Strobes, on.
Strobes on.
Ice protection, as required.
Won't be needing that today.
Auto ignition, armed.
Auto ignition is armed.
Takeoff.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get our taxi clearance. Bring up our airport diagram here. And let's see where we're parked. We should be at transient parking south. Oops, wrong button. Yep, transient south. So we're right here. So he should be giving us taxiway Alpha to 32. Medford ground, Sky 56, taxi IFR with Lima. Sky 56, Medford ground, taxi runway 32 via taxiway Alpha. Taxi runway 32 via Alpha, Sky 56. Okay. All right, straight out Alpha, right turn, runway 32. Now clear. Flown the C90B in a while. I usually fly the King Air B200 when I fly a King Air. And for those who aren't familiar with it, I really like flying with Track IR, which is a headset mounted infrared transmitter and a receiver mounted on the monitor. Tracks head movements. It makes it very realistic, and my goal is always to make simulation flying as realistic as possible, and Track IR really goes a long way toward that experience. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that map. the transition or assigned route. And our assigned altitude is 13,000. And then from over route, 098 radial from the Rogue Valley, VORTAC to Lanks, then 15 DME arc, clockwise, J intersection, then Rogue Valley VORTAC 138 radial to Greta. Alright. Back inside the airplane. I'm going to make sure I have the Rogue Valley VOR tuned in, which is 113.6 as a backup. 1136 here. And I'm going to set the 098 radial just in case. We have to go to our navigation radios. And I'm going to set this for now to GPS. Taxi light off, landing lights on. Right. Over to tower. 1194. Set. And departure frequency is Cascade departure 124.3. Set standby. Okay. Medford Tower, Sky 56, holding short runway 32, ready for departure. Sky 56, wind comp, runway 32, ready. Clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, runway 32, Sky 56. GPS is sequencing.
Brakes, full. Props, 2000 RPM. Brakes, release.
Alright. Adding power. Torque within limits. And brakes release. Airspeed indicators are on. Engine instruments in the green. Power available. Can rotate at 96 knots. And there's 96. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Declutter our display. Alright, so we're on a right turn to intercept the 098 radial right here. Sky 56, contact departure. Over to departure, Sky 56. Right, switch over to departure. Departure, Sky 56, with you out of 3,800, climbing 13,000. Sky 56, radar contact, altimeter 3028. 3028 for Sky 56. 3028 is set.
Auto feather annunciators, check illuminated. Ignition on annunciators, check extinguished. Engines, check ITT torque and limits.
Alright, all within the green.
Rotate, 96 knots.
Alright.
Landing gear, up.
Landing gears up.
Flaps, up.
Flaps are up.
Yaw dampener, on.
Yaw dampener is on.
Engines climb power, set.
Set.
Props, set 1900 RPM.
Okay, we're going to set our props RPM. Just got to leave it there at 2100.
Prop sync, on.
Prop sync is on.
Auto feather 0 off.
Auto feather off.
Engine instruments, monitor.
In the green.
Cabin signs, as required.
Not necessary.
Cabin pressurization, check.
Okay, 3000 set and just under 3000 shown.
Engine anti-ice, off.
Engine anti-ice off, left, right.
Climb. Cruise climb, set propellers at 1900 RPM and torque at maximum allowable, or maximum climb ITT, monitor N1.
Alright.
SL to 10,000 feet, 160 KIAS.
Going to increase our rate of climb just a tad.
Climb maximum rate, set propellers at 2000 RPM,
Now we won't
torque at maximum allowable,
okay.
YD as required,
No dampeners on.
auto feather as required. Cabin pressurization check.
Let's check.
Cabin signs as required. Brake de-ice as required. WSHLD anti-ice as required.
Not needed.
Altimeter set.
Altimeter is set.
TCAS set range.
TCAS range is set.
Cruise. Power set.
Alright, we're not quite at cruise altitude yet. Just out of 7,900 for 13,000. Weed Airport, by the way, let's go back here. Look, is just north of Mount Shasta. Go back to the VFR chart. Mount Shasta right here, which is a 14,000, just over 14,000 foot mountain right there. So we should be seeing that as we approach Weed Airport.
Ice protection switches as required. Ensure anti-ice equipment is activated before entering icing conditions.
There won't be any icing conditions today.
Cabin signs as required. Auxiliary fuel gauges monitor. Altimeters check. Engine instruments check.
All right, we're doing a right turn here at the 15 DME arc. Engine instruments are in the green.
TCAS set for en route.
TCAS set.
Descent arrival.
All right. That's it for our checklist for now. It's a short flight with heavy workload. There's going to be a lot happening in a short period of time. So we're still on our departure procedure. But I'm going to put this down here because we're going to be really more focused at this point on our approach, because we're actually going to begin our approach right in here. Right in here. As soon as we make our turn after Jade, we're going to intercept the Kalama intersection and start our descent. Sky 56, contact Seattle Center on 124.85. Over to 124.85, Sky 56. Set 124.85. And set. Seattle Center, Sky 56 with you out of 12,000, climbing 13,000. Sky 56, roger. Altimeter 3028. 3028 for Sky 56. So we'll hear a tone when we're 300 feet short of our preset altitude of 13,000. Should be hearing it here. There it is. And we should be leveling off. Speed over ground is 172. Indicated 140 and coming up because we're leveling off. Pull back on the power just a little bit. Okay, so here we are on the DME arc. We'll be coming up to Jade intersection in 4 miles, and then making our left turn out to the Granite intersection. And we're soon thereafter going to begin our descent. So the first step down for us is going to be to 9,700 at the Kalama. So go ahead and set 9,700. set, and we're going to be descending to our selected altitude via vertical speed. So that's all set and ready. See, Kalama's right here, so it won't be long after Jade we begin our descent. And there's a left turn. And Kalama's 4 miles. Slant range is actually 3 miles. So at 3 miles from Kalama we'll begin our descent. Or 1 mile from Kalama we'll begin our descent. Showing 225 over ground. Indicated 190 knots. 2.6 from Kalama. Let's go ahead and take a look at our CTAF frequency for Weed, which is a non-towered airport. 1227. We'll put that in standby. Okay. 1227 in standby. We're going to begin our descent. And we're going to pull back on power. Descending to 9,700. And it's 14.5 nautical miles from Flowbro. Now the one thing I love about IFR flight is you always know that you're clear of obstacles as long as you're flying according to the published procedures or as assigned by air traffic control. And that gives you great peace of mind in limited or no visibility situations. So here we're just simulating instrument reference. All right, so CTAF is set. Let's take a look at our ASOS 121125. I'm going to go ahead and tune into that just very briefly here.
Siskiyou weather. Wind 350 at 11, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 18, dew point -3. Altimeter 3027.
Okay. Back to center. And back to CTAF. On standby. 1227. Confirm. 1227. Yep. Okay, 8 miles. Increase our rate of descent a little bit here, pull back on power. And 7 miles to Fobro. Looking for 9,700. And we should reach that in 1 minute. And we should be just shy of Fobro at that point. And from Fobro, it's 8,000. Next step down. So if we lost communications, we would fly this entire procedure as we are right now with the step downs. Coming up on 10,100. 300 to go. And there's 9,700. Okay, so the next preset is going to be 8,000. 8,000 set. And once we're at a 1 mile slant range from Fobro, we'll go ahead and begin our descent. Coming up on 1 mile. There it is. Pull back on power. For 8,000. 7.5 to Iveg. And the next step down is 7,400 from Iveg. $9,000 to go. We'll be there in less than a minute. Rogue Valley today. .5 Iveg. Should be hearing the tone in a couple seconds here. There it is. I'm going to eat down. And next is 7,400. Preset that. 7,400 set. Looking for a slant range of 1 mile. Setting 7,400, and then from Epuk, maintain 7,400 until we reach Garana, then 5,100. Seattle Center, Sky 56 request. Sky 56, say request. Sky 56 requests the RNAV runway 14 approach. Sky 56, expect that. Sky 56, roger. Miles from Brenna. Then 5100, set that. 5100 set. 2.5. Seven. Descent. Power. Okay, I activated the approach. So now we're Greta, Dimchi, Kanki, Zigzag. Descending 5,100. Sky 56, Seattle Center. Cleared RNAV runway 14 approach. Switch to advisory approved. Squawk VFR. Switch to advisory approved. Squawk VFR. Sky 56. All right. CTAP. Fleet traffic. Sky 56. 10 miles north. Landing runway 14. Wheat. All right, then after Dimji, Kanki 4,600. Know I'll be looking for glide slope pretty soon. Two to go for Dimji. There's the tone. All right, I'm going to preset 4,600. Set. Start slowing down here. Send 4,600. There's glide slope coming in right now, right there. The LNAV V illuminated on our GPS, just an indication that we are flying approach. 4,600, and as soon as glide slope comes in, the autopilot should take over.
Cabin pressurization set. Cabin signs as required. Ice protection switches as required. WSHLD anti-ice as required. Recog lights on. Altimeter set to current setting. Gas set as required. Arrival briefing complete. Descent. Cabin pressurization set. Cabin signs as required. Power levers idle. Prop levers high RPM. Gear up.
High RPM.
Flaps up.
Gear down. And first flap set. Correct for ballooning.
Ice protections, recog lights as approach. Airspeed 181 km. Gear down / confirm, below 181 KIAS.
Gear down, confirm.
Flaps, below 200 KIAS.
First flap setting.
Ice protection switch, recog lights as required. Ferry fuel caps loosen or remove if GNAV source as required.
Alright, I'm going to come out from under the hood. There's the airport. parking brake on. Get the airplane shut down. Okay, let's take a look at our ground track. All right. There's our departure, runway 32, right turnout to 060 degrees, intercept is 098 radial outbound to Lanks intersection. Lanks intersection right here, then 15 DME arc, and then left turn at Jayden right there. That's the left turn at Jayden. And then we began stepping down, descending according to the published approach. Right there. And then there's the wind speed and direction. So definitely, actually a tailwind from the right, right rear quartering tailwind. All right, well, that's today's flight. Thanks for joining me, and hope you're able to find something of use for you in your simulation or real world flying. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.